Welcome everyone! Thanks for joining another chapter of the Financial Independentist. Today, we're going to talk about Novo Nordisk and the large number of challenges the company is currently facing. Novo Nordisk is a Danish big pharmaceutical company known for weight loss products like Wegovy and diabetes products like Ozempic. The company trades at a market cap of $244 billion and has achieved $42 billion in revenue and $14.6 billion in net income in the last 12 months. So we're talking about a very large corporation. The stock has been facing a sharp decline from its 2024 highs at an average price of about $130 per share, with peaks above $140, to about $55 per share as of today. That's a $75 per share drop, which is roughly a 60% decline. Novo Nordisk has been suffering bad narratives from investors due to a number of issues. In this video, we will take a look at the most important of them and make an assessment on whether the company is at deep value, as some folks, especially Next, say, or if this sharp decline in stock price is actually justified. But before that, let me share a quick reminder that just a few days ago we published a video about how Celsius Energy Drink Company is very well positioned to explode in the next 2 or 3 quarters. We think that this is a very compelling investment opportunity that one can take advantage of as of today. Link in the description below. And by the way, if you like this content, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe right now. It really helps the channel grow and you'll even get better content in the future. Please also leave some comments below regarding Novo Nordisk, whether you own Novo shares, and if you're bullish on the company. Alright, let's get started. Novo Nordisk was the first mover in the weight loss industry, thanks to the secondary effects observed in the diabetes product Ozempic. These effects were found to be related to the GLP-1 receptor semaglutide, which had been patented by them. One could argue that such discovery was a lucky shot, but thanks to this head start, they were able to establish themselves as the main weight loss provider. Once Novo Nordisk had established itself as the main weight loss provider and had taken the entire market for themselves, a strong challenger quickly appeared, Eli Lilly. Following a more purposeful research, Lilly was able to develop a family of new products, Zepbound for obesity and then Mounjaro for diabetes, which proved to be more effective than Novo Nordisk's equivalent Wegovy and Ozempic. Similar to Novo Nordisk, Lilly's products were also using a GLP-1 receptor. This time, it was tirzepatide, which had not been patented by Novo Nordisk. So this time Lilly patented this new GLP-1 receptor for themselves. In addition to having more effective products, Lilly has shown better growth than Novo Nordisk, as well as more consistency, which has enabled them to invest in developing a stronger product pipeline, which, added to aggressively ramping up their production capacity, has made Lilly a very strong challenger to Novo Nordisk. As a result, Novo Nordisk has been severely disrupted by Lilly. They have less effective products, weaker pipeline, and have lost their first mover advantage. This has been reflected in the investor sentiment and therefore in the stock performance. Novo Nordisk now needs to also combat this bad narrative. Because of that, late in August, Novo Nordisk halved the price of Ozempic from $999 to $499 per month when paying cash. Novo has exclusive rights on this product, yet they had to slash the price to boost sales. Clearly Ozempic is not selling well, and this looks like a desperate move to boost sales and show better numbers in the short term. This loss of pricing power is a clear sign of dwindling mode on Ozempic, and it's a very bad indicator on Novo Nordisk's future performance. Next, Novo Nordisk and Hims & Hers signed an agreement in late April this year. On it, Hims agreed in offering Novo Nordisk's products in their marketplace. The agreement was beneficial to both companies. On one hand, Hims was adding new content to their marketplace and allowing Novo Nordisk to commercialize their FDA-approved Wegovy in it, at the same time reducing any potential litigation risk from Novo. On the other hand, Novo Nordisk was benefiting from access to Hims' marketplace, with over 2.4 million customers and growing fast. In late May, Hims announced the launch of Wegovy in their marketplace for $549 per month and reiterated their desire in maintaining a good long-term relationship with Novo Nordisk. Customers purchasing Wegovy via Hims marketplace would also have access to all Hims value-added services, like physician, prescriptions, and MedMatch, their medical AI agent. Initially, the agreement was logic, as both companies greatly benefited from it, but only 2 months after the agreement, Novo Nordisk decided to terminate it. In Novo's press release announcing this termination, they stated severe, even criminal accusations against Hims, allegedly due to concerns about their, quote, illegal mass compounding and deceptive marketing of knockoff drugs with foreign and approved active pharmaceutical ingredients." End quote. Further reading, Novo Nordisk accused Hims of unlawfully distributing illegal compounding semaglutide products under the false guise of personalization, and threatened to initiate legal actions against them. They claimed that Hims patients were exposed to, quote, "significant risks posed by knockoff semaglutide drugs made with illicit or inauthentic foreign active pharmaceutical ingredients." End quote. If Novo had such evidence, they should have taken them to court. However, they didn't. As of today, the chance of Novo suing Hims has decreased to only a 19% chance, according to Kalshi. If Novo ends up starting a legal battle with Hims, it will be just one more headache for both Novo's management and investors, with little to no benefit on their long-term prospects. In fact, Novo Nordisk deleted their June 23rd press release, the one I just showed before, from their investor relations site. Most likely because of the risk of Hims taking legal action against them for public defamation. The content of that press release was very tough and still unproven. On Hims' side, instead of wasting time battling with Novo Nordisk, they decided to just have Andrew Dudum, their CEO, post on X how Novo Nordisk had tried to press Hims to steer their patients out from legal and medically prescribed compounding semaglutide products towards Wegovy. As of today, Novo Nordisk has filed a significant number of lawsuits, 132 as of now, against GLP-1 compounding pharmacies, telehealth companies, and medical spas. In general, these lawsuits allege production of unsafe and unapproved compounded products, claimed to contain semaglutide, false or otherwise misleading marketing, and medical malpractice improperly influencing doctors to steer patients towards compounded products. Some of these cases have resulted favorable to Novo Nordisk, either prohibiting semaglutide compounding or terminated certain inadequate marketing. While this is positive for Novo, it also shows that Novo has to spend substantial time and resources trying to maintain a moat that is slowly weakening. I'm not saying that Novo should not protect their patents. They should. But they need to put their focus on their pipeline and in developing new products that can compete with Lilly's. My conclusion after all this Novo Hims saga is that Novo attempted to take control over Hims' weight loss marketplace and take their own compounding solutions out of it, from the inside. When Hims refused to do so, Novo terminated the deal and started accusations on Hims, which are yet to be proved. This clearly shows both mismanagement and misjudgment on Novo Nordisk's side, and in my opinion is another red flag to add to this company. It is important to consider that Novo Nordisk's stock price also fluctuated widely as a result of the agreement, and later disagreement with Hims. And it is important to also keep in mind that Novo Nordisk is a company more than 20 times larger than Hims. This shows that the market has doubts in Novo's ability to remain competitive outside of Hims' marketplace, which is quickly becoming a go-to place for medical assessment, especially for younger generations, a place which Novo would not be wise to ignore. Another critical mistake from Novo Nordisk's management was related to the loss of patent protection for semaglutide-based products in Canada, starting as soon as 2026. Quoting the article in Science, Novo did file a patent there for semaglutide, but the last time they paid the annual maintenance fee on it was 2018. You can even find a letter where the lawyers sent a refund request for the 2017 maintenance fee, $250, because Novo apparently wanted some more time to see if they wanted to pay it. On the same date in 2019, the office sent a letter saying that the fee payable to maintain the rights accorded by the above patent was not received by the prescribed due date. By that time, it was $450, with the late fee added, but that was apparently too much for Novo. They had 1 year grace period to make it up, and apparently never did, so their patent lapsed in Canada. And as the Canadian authorities reminded them, once a patent has lapsed, it cannot be revived. So essentially Novo lost the Canadian market because of failure to pay $250, which they knew they had to pay and for which they were repeatedly reminded. This is incredible. Because of this, Novo opened up the entire Canadian market to GLP-1 generics, losing their exclusivity there. Immediately, Hims announced their offering of compounded semaglutide in the Canadian market, starting in 2026, when Novo's patent is set to expire. This was a critical mistake that will have severe consequences for Novo. First, they are losing an important market to Hims, which effectively is their competitor, making them much stronger. Second, they are allowing Hims to show everyone that their compounded drugs are not only perfectly safe, but also more efficient, and with less secondary effects than the official Novo Nordisk version, Ozempic and Wegovy. We should always remember that the patent protection is essentially the moat of pharmaceutical companies. By allowing their patent to expire, Novo has effectively lost their moat in the Canadian market, and to add insult to injury, they lost this patent due to incompetency. This is probably the largest red flag of all. We will see in the next few years how this situation develops, in preparation for 2032, when Novo Nordisk's semaglutide patent in the United States is set to expire. So they only have 5 years remaining to exclusively exploit it, and the time is running out. What's even more, their semaglutide patent in other important regions like China or Brazil is also set to expire in 2026. This puts Novo in a very bad situation. Because of all these issues and the, in my opinion, justified bad narrative on the company, in May this year, Novo Nordisk CEO Lars Freygaard Jorgensen was abruptly fired. To replace him, Mike Doudstar was appointed later in August. Along with the CEO, a number of other executives were also removed. In particular, Markus Schindler was asked to retire, and we all know what that means in the corporate world, right? To add, earlier in September, Novo announced a company-wide restructuring and a reduction in force of approximately 9,000 jobs globally, half of which in Denmark, where Novo has its headquarters. These massive layoffs represent about 11.5% of their total workforce. The company indicated plans to focus resources on diabetes and weight loss divisions. In addition, and most concerning to investors, the company also issued another profit warning, indicated that they are now expecting a profit growth of only 4 to 10%, substantially reduced from 10 to 16% as expected before, which by the way, had also been previously reduced. Recently, the Trump administration confirmed that, starting in October, the United States would be imposing 100% tariffs to all pharmaceutical products manufactured outside of the United States. Fortunately for Novo Nordisk, they already have manufacturing operations in the United States and are actively investing in deploying $4.1 billion in manufacturing production in North Carolina, so they should be relatively safe from this new mandate. Investors should still keep an eye on new developments in this front. So, is it possible for Novo to turn this around? Novo Nordisk is currently trading at a single-digit EV to EBIT multiple of 9.8. That's the company's lowest valuation in more than a decade. It is very noticeable the sharp decline in stock price from 2024 highs. By all possible metrics, if one just looks at the top and bottom line of Novo, there is nothing to dislike. The top line is growing steadily as well as the bottom line, this last one achieving over $16 billion in net income in the last 12 months. At the same time, the narrative is extremely negative and the stock price is at 2022 levels. While a turnaround is possible, I generally don't like investing in turnaround companies and I have doubts that there will be a turnaround in Novo Nordisk. The company is a mess, and currently has no signs of even starting any sign of recovery. Sure, today's multiple is low. That's because the market is forward-looking and things are going south. Investors have lost faith in the management, and the few bullish folks out there in X tend to extrapolate good old past performance into the future without looking at what's under the hood, and company in total disarray. Interestingly, throughout this sharp decline, institutional investors have been loading up with shares of Novo Nordisk. This is an argument that the financial X community has used as a bullish indicator. However, if one looks at the chart, most of these institutional purchases have been taking place since mid-2023, and the company has only gone down since then. So it seems safe to say that as of today, all of these institutional investors are heavy into the red. There are still some catalysts for Novo, like the oral Wegovy launch capable of delivering a 16.6% weight loss after 64 weeks of usage, which are more promising results than those from Lilly's oral offering, or Forglipron, which was only capable of reducing weight by 12.4% throughout a longer period of time. Another positive development is approval to launch Ozempic in the India market, which has a lot of upside due to the number of potential customers this could bring. However, the semaglutide patent in which Ozempic is based is also set to expire in India in 2026, and India is the region of the world where most generic drugs are manufactured, so I'm not so sure about how much market share will Ozempic grab. So, what is my game plan with Novo Nordisk? Well, considering everything, intense competition, proven record of critical mistakes, patent expiration dates are coming fast, pipeline not looking extremely exciting, CEO and management fired, layoffs and profit warning, the assessment is that this is a troubled company. I understand if you're looking for a turnaround play, and Novo can definitely do that, but as time passes I'm realizing more and more that this company is in disarray, and I'm less optimistic with that possibility. And even if they can turn this around, it will take years. I think there are better places to deploy capital as of today, so in my opinion Novo Nordisk represents an opportunity cost to any portfolio. As a result, my rating for Novo Nordisk is a quality cash flow rating of B, which is the lowest investment grade rating a company can have. That means you can buy Novo, and that's fine, but expect problems and difficult times. So why bother? Alright, that's all for today. Just a quick reminder that this content is not financial advice. Please do let me know in the comment section below if you have Novo Nordisk stock or if you have plans to start in a position. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps a lot in providing better and better content. Thank you very much for watching. See you all in the next episode.